Good morning, everyone. Boker Tov. You know, as we speak in the Vatican, the cardinals are gathered to decide who the new pope is going to be in the Conclave. And I read something interesting, that only cardinals under the age of 80 get to vote on who should be the new pope. And I was thinking about the contrast in this week's Torah portion. Amongst the many commandments in this week's Torah portion, we have the verse that says, Mipnei seva takum, you shall rise, you should stand up in the presence of a person advanced in age. Vihadarta, you should honor Pnei zaken, the face of an elderly person. And I was thinking about what our tradition teaches us about those who are advanced in age, that they should be honored, revered. Why? So the Talmud says that the great sage Rabbi Yochanan would rise in front of an elderly person, Jew or non-Jew alike. Why? Because he would say how many experiences, how much resilience, how many challenges and even suffering this person had to face in their lifetime and prevailed, persevered, overcame, and therefore I want to rise in their presence and honor them. As it says in Ethics of Our Fathers, there's no wisdom like the wisdom of first-hand experience. And furthermore, in Pirkei Avot, what does it say about the number 80, which is the age where the cardinals can no longer vote? It says, Ben Shmonim L'Gvura, when you reach the age of 80, you have strength, because it means you're a person with inner strength and resilience, that you lived 80 years and now you are going beyond the age of 80. And it's sad and unfortunate that our society, it's the opposite. The older people get, the more neglected they are. There's no society that spends more money on hiding their age, concealing their age, like our society. Why? Because people will look at you differently when you're old. Recently, a member of ours celebrated his 90th birthday. I said, let's have a celebration in the shul, 90 years old. He said, no, Rabbi, I'm going to celebrate with my family and children and grandchildren. I said, why not have a big celebration? And he said to me something very sad. He says, Rabbi, when you turn 90, you start becoming invisible to other people. And Judaism says just the opposite. A person should be honored and revered because of their age and their life experiences. Coming back from Israel, we started off our trip in Poland, and it was the March of the Living. And something fascinating that happens at the March of the Living is that thousands and thousands of young teenagers come on the March of the Living, but they always bring along with them a Holocaust survivor, someone who went through the camps. And you watch the young children, boys and girls, 17, 18, hanging on to every word of the 90-year-old survivor, and unfortunately there are less and less alive and less that can make the trip. And you see the elderly teaching the young firsthand what they experienced. And when you see the resilience of the youth in Israel today, the courage, the sacrifice, the heroism of our soldiers, they are inspired by their grandparents' generation, who overcame the greatest evil of the Holocaust and faced so many challenges and struggles and sacrifices. And that is what is inspiring the youth, because of our connection to previous generations. When we were at Mount Herzl commemorating Yom HaZikaron, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu spoke, and he quoted a phrase where he said, Hador Shalanu, Hator Shalanu, which in Hebrew means our generation, and now it's our turn. Our generation has to do what the previous generations have done, and we have to learn from previous generations. And then he added, Ha'or Shalanu, that is our light. Our light is the previous generations who inspire us and guide us. I was told by someone, a friend, who told me that he went with his father, was a Holocaust survivor, back to Auschwitz to come in with his family and show them what he experienced firsthand. And he said that when he came to Auschwitz, as we saw last week, it's now a museum, and you have to buy a ticket, and you have to show your ticket to get through, to come into Auschwitz. And so when they turned to this elderly man and they said to him, where's your ticket? He looked at the woman there collecting the tickets, and he said, last time I was here, they didn't ask me for my ticket. And I think there's a powerful message there, and the message is that sometimes we think we understand life. We've gone, we've experienced, we've witnessed, but only the previous generations, the elderly, who have gone through life circumstances, who don't come with a ticket to be spectators, but actually went through life experiences. They have the wisdom to tell us the lessons of life. And therefore Judaism says, rise in the presence of every single person who is advanced in age. Revere them and honor them, and they should be the members of society. They should be the members of society that are not neglected, but on the contrary, celebrated and cherished. Have a wonderful day.